8/2/2024. We're in Methods of the Sima. We're in the last chapter, chapter 5, using the masses. It's only a couple of verses long, so we're going to read through the next couple of pages and finish out the book. Verse 1. In every case of war, a small group of troops must be solid. A large group must be well controlled. A small group benefits from taunting the enemy, while a large group benefits from using conventional tactics. When in large numbers, advance and stop. When in small groups, advance and retreat. If a large group encounters a small number of enemies, then surround them from afar but keep watch. Conversely, divide your forces and take turns to attack. A few can still deal with large groups. If their masses are filled with doubt, then take advantage of their fear yourself. If you take the opportunity to make a gain, then put down your flags, turn to retreat, and make a counterattack. If the enemy are great in number, then collect together and let them surround you. If the enemy are few and fearful, avoid them and allow them through. If they're few and fearful, just avoid them. They're not worth your time. A small group benefits from taunting the enemy, while a large group benefits from using conventional tactics. I think this is an interesting way to say that, like, the smaller you are, the more brave you have to be, whereas the bigger you are, whether it's a company or whatever, these conventional tactics, there's not as much freedom, right? When you're small, you can taunt and kind of be yourself, and you don't have a whole lot of oversight. But the bigger you get corporate wise, the more you lose your individuality. 2. In every case of war, keep the wind and the heights behind you. Keep the peaks to your right and narrow passes to your left. Pass through terrain, whether it is simply marshlands or if an embankment has been built. Travel at double pace, day or night, configured like a turtle's back. We've got this interesting little, I would say that's a phoenix, or a very, very feathery chicken. 3. In every case of war, deploy the troops and observe the enemy's actions. Watch the enemy, then advance. If they are waiting for you to attack, then act accordingly. Do not beat the drum to advance, but wait for their masses to arise. If they attack, then assemble the troops and prepare for the attack. 4. In every case of war, use large and small numbers to observe their tactical changes. Advance and retreat accordingly to observe their army's solidity. Imperil them and observe their fears. Keep quiet and observe when they become slack. And that's very interesting. Imperil them and observe their fears. What are they afraid of? What's making you afraid? Right? What are you afraid of? What's imperiling you right now? And is whatever that is maybe controlled by a bigger force to maybe see how you're acting? And then what happens when we have become slack, right? As a people, as a nation. Who's being quiet? Who's watching, waiting? Maneuver your forces and observe their consternation. Attack by surprise and observe how they are managed. Attack where they have doubts, add to their haste, focus on what makes them submissive, ambush their plans and strategies, follow through when they are wounded, obstruct their designs, seize their minds, and prey on their fears. 5. When pursuing those who are fleeing, do not rest. If some of the enemy's men stop on the road, then be concerned. 6. When nearing the enemy's capital, you must have a road down which you can advance. When retreating, you must put some thought into how you will return. 7. In every case of war, if you move first, you will be at a disadvantage. If you move last, you may be fearful. If you rest, you will become lax. Though if you do not rest, you will face exhaustion. Right? Intentional rest. That's why we need vacations. We need to have these periods of rest, but we can't rest too much. Right? If you've ever been laid off from work, if you've ever been jobless, if you've ever been looking for a job, sometimes you change. And you have to always be working and honing some skill in order to stay sharp. Iron sharpens iron. Rest for a long time, and the enemy may also become fearful. Writing to family with whom you have become separated through war, this is called anxiety over being cut off from the past. Selecting the elite and ranking the weapons, this is called increasing the strength of the men. Dropping the responsibilities of office and taking only limited rations, this is called enlightening the thoughts of the men. This has been the nature of government since antiquity. And that ends Methods of the Sima, a nice little dragon to wrap that up, and then a nice little mountaintop view to end the book with. I hope y'all found that as reflective as I did. I think that was was really a good read. So next we will finish up the three strategies of Huang Shaigong.